Dickosaurus Podcast.
And welcome back to the Thickosaurus Podcast, episode 5. This is your host, Anna, and what we're going to be talking about in this episode is the supernatural. Ooh, nice sound effect.
Thank you.
So I just kind of wanted to kind of dive into that because we always, like this podcast is basically just airing out what we talk about usually anyway. Mm-hmm. So sometimes we talk about the supernatural, and I wanted to kind of, like I said, dive into it and see what kind of like supernaturally experiences that you guys had, and if there's anything that like you've always wanted to know, or like, we were creeped out by. So yeah, I'm sure whoever is comfortable sharing. If not, I can go first. Don't matter.
I think we should also say, who actually believes in supernatural stuff?
That's true.
Because I know
too,
some people, they don't.
They're like, that's fake. That's just your mind. It's the wind.
I wouldn't say I believe in them. It's more like I know that they exist, but just I don't like to acknowledge it. Because usually if you acknowledge it, it kind of, they're attracted to you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, and that's, kind of actually what they believe in, like, for Hmong shamans, too. They're like, don't acknowledge it. If you hear something, don't acknowledge it. No, you didn't. If you saw something, no, you didn't,
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's kind of, like, what I wanted to do. I guess we can dive into that. Do you guys, so you said, Molly, you believe that there's something like that out there?
so I'm eating chips. But yeah, I would say so. Because, like, I mean, my experiences were not, like, as crazy as, like, y'all's, like, Anna's and Melissa's. I'm more, like, mine is more of me being on the sidelines and seeing everything. But, I mean, yeah. I've just never encountered direct stuff from what you guys had.
I believe there are some supernatural stuff happening. I mean, how can there not be? Because, like, I don't know. Okay, I myself have never experienced anything of the supernatural. I've never been, matjua, which is kind of like sleep paralysis type thing.
That sounds scary.
I've never felt that. I've never seen anything. Never felt anything touch me.
Never have and never want to.
Yeah, I mean, I pray that I would never experience that, but it's not something that I would, willingly go look for, because from stories that I've heard, or people close to me, like my sisters and them, have experienced, it's kind of like, no, thank you.
Lucky you.
But I do believe that there's things like that out there, whether you consider them demons, spirits, ghosts.
Do you believe there's some type of entity or extra thing out there, basically?
Yeah. So, I mean, whatever you want to call them. Yes,
Yeah.
I do know there's probably like a different plane and things cross over and whatnot. Yeah, I believe it.
Well, what were you, Melissa?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you believe that?
No questions
asked.
because
Oh,
they
yeah,
always
she-
touch me.
Yeah, she's always the one who gets bothered.
They're attracted to her.
I think that, like, I don't know if it was from, like, because I haven't really seen The Shining, so I don't really exactly know if it's from The Shining or, like, maybe an anime or something, but like, I think that there is, like, a sixth sense that only certain people have the
That pick
ability. Yeah, that pickup. Usually it's, the spiritual world side. And kind of like how I was telling, I think, Michi one time when we were talking about this, because she was like, well, I've never had that happen to me, or I don't really believe in it, or anything like that. And I'm like, I think each person's a little different. Each person's ability is a little
Aura
different.
and
There's
stuff.
some people who have, like, bigger auras that spirits are more, like, attracted to, kind of thing. Kind of like in The Master's Son, where she's, like, the main character the reason why it's called the Master Sun is because she can see spirits, because in the spiritual world she's like really bright like a sun, and so that's why spirits come to her a lot of the times, because
Yeah.
that's what they can see.
Yeah.
And so I think that's kind of how I kind of see it too sometimes, a little bit. Like some people will shine brighter than others, therefore they kind of go and like bother them more.
Oh, you mean like bugs that go towards the light?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it
A moth to a
portrayed,
flame.
Yeah,
That's
moth to
what
flame kind of
that
thing.
yeah, that's what that drama portrayed was.
Yeah.
They always would go to her, and she's like, "Go away," because
Yeah.
like you would see her, she has like eye bags, and she was like
Yeah.
sleep deprived because she hated to sleep because she was very vulnerable, so they would always like possess her.
But then when she's around him, they all kind of disappear. Kind of thing. That's why it's called the Master's Son.
I haven't watched it yet. I've
Kinda
been
thing.
wanting to.
Yeah.
Because I have two of my favorite actor/actresses.
Yeah.
She's good at crying, and he's just good at acting.
Yeah. And so that's how I personally see it. You know, maybe that's the best way that I can kind of put it is, you know, some people have shinier auras than other people. Kind of thing. But yeah, I believe so. I believe that they're real. There's a lot of things that don't scientifically make sense. And so yeah, I think it's real. There's more out there. You know.
I believe it too. Yeah, because because originally, like what I said in the other podcast episode, is that I was raised as a Hmong shaman. You guys were raised as Hmong Christians.
Christians, yeah.
Yes.
And like in my family, there's a lot of stuff. So my family does have a line of that I descended, I should say, a long line of shamans too. So yeah, I believe.
So what's shamanism? For people who don't know what shamanism is.
Well, I've heard that it's not actually called shamanism. I forgot what the actual term is for like our religion, but like it's very similar to like what indigenous people would believe,
like
where
witch doctors and
yeah, like witch doctors, and that everything is connected to the earth. Like everything has like a life, and like a bug or like an animal, the sky and everything. There's something, it's tied to something like a spirit or something. So it's not just there existing. There's a reason why. And also like the whole believing, like like where Mother Nature's included with it too. Like don't mess with it and all that. So I want to say that's kind of like that, where we believe that there's every little thing is like by a spirit or guided by a spirit or owned by something. So I guess you could say that that's how it is. I'm not the expert on this.
Yeah.
But that's what I would say. And then I was also say you can Google it if you'd like to as well. And that way you can kind of get more information about it. Or if you have like a Hmong friend and you're not Hmong, you can ask them. So, yeah. So I was born Hmong shaman. We did things differently. We had things to, because for you guys didn't offer, but like you guys had God to pray to and everything. And for me, for our family, what we do is we offer things, or we talked to our ancestors, like Mulan, so that's how we would do it. And because I remember having a conversation with your brother before I converted, and I was like, then how am I going to talk to my grandparents? I was so heartbroken. I was like, how am I going to talk to my grandparents when I want to talk to them? Because like for us, like, like if we want something, or if we need something, or want to like confide in, and like we say our, like, we say our grandma, grandpa, and then like, we say something like to reach out to them, because they're always lingering around us basically and protecting us.
Right.
And so I said that to him, and then he was just not clicking for him. He was like, "What?"
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, "But how am I going to talk to them when I need to talk to them?" But like we, as Hmong shamans, we just really believe that there's a connection, and who we talk to and have us guide us is our ancestors. So ancestors,
Hear my plea. Help me not to make a fool of me.
Yeah. So that's basically, like how Mulan sings it is how we kind of live our lives as moon shamans.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So now that we kind of figured out about the whole shamanism and supernatural, have you guys had any kind of weird instances, like ghost wise or freaky stuff like that? Michelle's shaking her head. No.
Nope. I have not. I have not had the pleasure or the unpleasantness of experiencing anything like that.
Yeah.
I've only had like one that I remember, but it was very vague because I was tired. So whenever that happened, and it was at a certain person's place, but then I've heard stories from that person at that house.
Of things that happened there.
Yeah.
From 2 different people of that house. From me, at least. Or 3 different people from that house.
For you,
Yeah.
3 different things.
It would be our person, their mom, and then somebody else who just visited their house. That all happened in the house.
Yeah.
It's like, do y'all want to like delve into that, or did you want to go first, or what?
Just
Well-
go, Molly.
Oh yeah, I thought she was. I was. About to-
Continue your story. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and start it, and then
Oh
whenever.
well,
Yeah.
from my experience, I mean, to begin with, their house. I mean, I had like not a good feeling in their house all the time. I don't know, maybe it was just me, but I just never. I was always scared at their house. I don't know.
Vibes don't lie.
Yeah,
Okay. Sorry to say, vibes.
I was
don't
always
lie.
scared. I mean,
sorry to interrupt. How old were you?
oh dang, I don't remember.
Because
Like when this happened.
I would say like middle school.
well, you said that. No, you said you were always scared. So when did you start?
Well, they
going to
didn't move
their
into
house?
this house until like when y'all were in like what
I think when I was in high school.
in high school,
Yeah, like I think like 9th grade, 9th, 10th grade.
and then I was in middle school, so
Yeah.
they
Oh.
recently moved in.
yeah.
Okay. I was
You
just
know.
wondering because Hmong people believe that the children.
the kids are
Can
more
see it.
sensitive. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, it was like I was okay with being like downstairs and everything, but then like when it came to going upstairs, I did not like going up there by myself. I don't know why, but I think because it doesn't help that they keep all the lights off at the upstairs, and so that makes it worse.
They were just being Asian and conserving their.
I know,
electricity bill.
but like there's like in their like when you go upstairs, there's like no windows in the hallway,
That's true.
so it's
their
dark.
layout was kind of weird.
That's
So the only windows that they have up there are all in the rooms,
Mm-hmm.
and so like
I think most houses are like that.
No, I've seen some that have like windows up like upstairs, like in the hallways, depending on how the layout is.
Okay.
Oh, but yeah. Anyway, your experience.
But yeah, I mean, there was like one time where we spent the night, and this was like,
I hope
after
nobody's listening to this at night. Listen to at your own expense or at your own risk. I mean,
This was like after she told us like the story of what happened to her,
Mhm.
which was I think one night she was telling us that she was sleeping, and I guess when they sleep they leave their door open, and so she's
That's already a no.
yeah. When I heard that I was like, oh hell no, she left the door open, and so she was sleeping, and then I guess she was saying like something like grabbed her leg, and like yanked her off the bed.
Like,
Like-
completely off.
Yes. And so I'm just like, oh my God. Like, the hell? And then like she said that she got up and then she saw like a silhouette going down the street. I guess she was wanting to see what it was.
oh
So
hell
she-
no!
She got up and then I guess she looked over and like looked at the stairs and she said that she saw like a silhouette and like half a face going down the stairs. And I'm just like, oh hell no.
Oh, she actually saw.
Like
a
looking at her the
face?
entire time.
I think
it's
so.
Like, so it's like this.
Something like that. But I'm like trying to picture her stairs from where her
If you want to
room
see
was.
how Melissa's demonstrating, go see this on YouTube.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then like she was saying that and then she saw it go down the stairs. And then her curiosity self. If I remember correctly, she said she went to go check the stairs. I think it was gone.
Oh hell no.
Is this
she went
A?
that far?
Yeah,
Yes. She went that far? Oh my god.
I think so, but I could be wrong. I don't remember. It's been years.
It's been years.
Yeah, and then she told us that story, and then maybe like a few weeks later, she wanted me to spend the night, and I'm like, okay. But I told her, I was like, okay, but I want to sleep in the living room. You know, because I'm like, because all that happened upstairs. And so we slept in her living room that one night. And the way her living room layout is, like, when you go through the front door and you go all the way down, and then to the right, it's like a big living room. And then, like, at the very far back wall, there's a fireplace. And so, like, we slept in front of the fireplace. So she slept closer to the fireplace, and I slept on the other side by the couches and by the kitchen and hallway. So I was exposed to everything over there. And then we were sleeping, and I guess she knocked out first. And then I kind of turned my way towards, like, the couches and everything. And then, like, the way her carpet is, it's, like, the fluffy kind of carpet. To where, like, when you step on it, you can see, like, the pressure imprints and stuff. I saw imprints in front of me.
Okay.
And I was like,
How close?
like if you were, it's like
Like
Michelle.
5 feet away? That's that close?
Yeah, and then it kind of disappeared for a little bit, and I was just like,
Oh my god.
and I couldn't, like, see, like, either, because she was facing the fireplace, and I was just like, God damn it, she's facing the other way. So it took me a while to fall asleep at her place. So every time I'm there, I'm just very uncomfortable
You're
there.
on high alert.
Yeah.
So you saw 2 footprints in the carpet
Yeah, like-
next to you. Was
Like,
it
I
facing
think,
you?
if I remember correctly, I kind of saw them kind of, like, slowly moving, but I just wasn't sure if it was just my eyes.
This is our first time hearing this.
Yeah, like I just wasn't
I'm
sure
hearing
if it
this.
was just me, like, seeing random stuff coming through, but I guess I never processed it because I was tired.
Were you already wearing glasses?
I had my glasses off.
I know. So did
But
you
yeah,
ever
at this
question yourself,
time-
like, I'm just seeing things?
At this time, yeah, my eyes weren't that bad
Oh my god.
as of now. Maybe like a negative.
I would have just said, I'm not
I'm
wearing my glasses.
blind.
That's fine.
I'm
I
blind.
But, like,
can't
but it's
see,
like
I'm
it's-
blind.
It's like their carpets are, like, kind of like the creamy white, so you kind of
Uh-huh.
can see, like, when it's
The
dark, when
imprints.
it's imprinted. So I saw that,
Oh.
but I didn't want to acknowledge it, so I was just like, scoot over the other
Oh my
way,
God.
you know.
Nope,
Oh
nope,
my God.
nope.
And so, yeah, ever since then, I'm just, like, very uncomfortable being at their house, especially, like, hearing when the third person came in, and, like, because the third person that came in and told us about the spirit up there, she's, like, apparently spiritually gifted.
I think she was supposed to be a shaman.
Was she supposed
Yeah,
to
she
be
was
one?
supposed to be a shaw woman, but then I think she like it chose her to become the shaw woman, but she
She didn't
didn't
want
want to be it. But she still had that spiritual gift to
Because
see things.
if I remember correctly, her
to
family, they
things.
all have some kind of spiritual gifts.
Yeah.
Like their siblings. But hers, she was able to, like, communicate and see them. And she was telling us, she was describing that spirit, and I'm just like, oh hell no, that's what I saw, and that's what she saw, and I'm like, no.
Did she see it clearly? That's why.
Yeah, because she was saying, like, we were all downstairs, and I think A asked her about it. And she's like, oh yeah, I can go check up there, and then she went up there, like, by herself, and then she was saying, like, yeah, it's like a middle school girl, like a 12-year-old girl. She has blonde black hair. She's wearing, like, white dress, and she was very clear, because sometimes she said that sometimes she'll appear over there, and sometimes she'll appear over there, and then sometimes she'll appear, like, in her face, and she's like, I hate it when they do that. And then she asked the spirit, like, why she pulled A's leg, you know, right? And then the spirits are like, I just wanted to play. And I'm just like,
Oh wow. This is my first time hearing this. No. Wow.
yeah. And I guess after hearing that, A kind of was a little relieved, because she kind of found out what it was and stuff. But
I would not be relieved.
I think it's because she was very intimidated by what it was, because she didn't know what it was. But I guess she kind of was aware of what it is and everything, I guess. I don't know.
So that gave her comfort knowing what it was.
Yeah. Or something like that. But I guess.
Okay.
But yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I can't say for sure on her side, but that's what it seemed like to me. But yeah. It's always whenever, and like I said, I'm okay with downstairs, but when I have to go upstairs, no, thank you.
Okay. Well.
That's why we're like, we're going to their house. I'm like, for how long?
All right.
Wow.
And then Liz, you said you had something that connected to that.
Oh yeah, her mom's story.
Oh yeah, her mom's story. How she keeps seeing one of our Hmong friends passed away
Years ago.
years ago.
Yeah, but I think that can't say that person's name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but she keeps seeing her
Oh.
outside in her yard, and I'm like, oh, okay, wow.
I don't know if they still do right now, but
Yeah.
That was true years ago.
Yeah, but that was apparently that's what they said. Is that they would see her in the yard by their tree, like trying to, like looking at them in the house through that, like looking. She's looking at the house by the tree. I'm guessing like waiting to be like invited in or whatever. I don't know how that works, but
they
she
have to
will-
be invited in or
Yeah,
something like that.
she will kind of like just stand there and like watch them.
That was when they went kind of crazy with the shaman stuff too, where they had a
There's a lot of spiritual stuff that was happening at
yeah,
that time.
they had to
over
like
there.
bless like spray us or like
Yeah,
do like holy water on us or something like that every time we came in.
yeah.
That's kind of like scary, but like sad at the same time.
Yeah, they were going through a lot of stuff
Yeah.
around that time.
No, not that. I'm talking about seeing her spirit standing at the tree.
And there's that big
Like,
tree,
waiting.
that
yeah,
big tree.
the big tree in their yard.
Yeah.
That's when Mike got into a wreck.
No, that's a neighbor's.
No, that's the
Oh.
neighbor's tree.
No, like if you remember going to their house, they have that one big tree in front of
in
the
the
yard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that is where Mike had his accident with the tree.
No, not that
No,
big
not
tree.
that one.
I know it's not that big tree, but she's
But that
talking
house?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that
Oh, yeah.
neighborhood,
Yeah, that
yes,
neighborhood,
that
yes.
area, yes.
Okay.
So yeah, I remember sleeping in her brother's room one time because I think we were doing something and the brother's room was connected to the attic,
Yeah, it has access to the attic.
and for some reason that night I did not sleep.
I always like when we are offered to spend the night there, and they ask like, "Oh, you can sleep in Tom's room." I'm just like, or the his house room, and I'm just like,
No, it's okay.
no, y'all have access to the attic.
Yeah. And so I don't know. I think that's just me. Period. Though, whenever I'm someplace new, I just don't sleep well, just because.
It's not your bed.
Yeah, it's not my bed. For one, I don't really feel safe, and so therefore I don't sleep.
Nope. If I know, I mean, I'm okay with anywhere, but if I'm aware of that there's spiritual activity, or if they told me stories about that place, or if I know that they're like shaman, like a shaman family, I'm very uncomfortable in their house.
But that's because you already know that they're
Yeah.
shaman, therefore
Well, yeah.
you're kind of like anticipating whatever it is that you're gonna feel.
But like, yeah, it's like enough. I know that they don't go to church, then yeah, I'm like already like, you know. Or if it's like an old house, and it's kind of creaky, like our grandparents' place. Yeah, no.
I always find, I mean, it's kind of, I feel like it's almost true, like in the movies, where if you enter into a place and it's really cold, like bone freezing cold, that's usually freaks me out, because I'm like, it doesn't need to be this cold. So,
I'm thinking of
Yes.
that person's house.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you said that.
bone freezing cold.
And I'm like, why don't y'all turn on the heat?
They're like you said, to save energy.
And they're
to
like,
save
it is
electricity."
on. And I'm
That's
like,
what I'm saying. Like, it's almost as cold as if it's almost as cold as that one movie where they're like, I see dead people.
Yeah.
Like in Fast Mo, when you go in the ghost's
Yes,
room and you
yes.
just go,
It feels that
and like
cold.
trying to turn on hot water to wash your face, and like no hot water is coming out, and it's just like cold water, so you're like shaking your hands under the cold water to wash your damn face.
Well, she's not used to that, but I'm used to that because I used to live out in the country. So that's why we don't get hot water right away. So I was used to that.
No,
But
like I
not
sat there and I waited.
Yeah, it doesn't. Sometimes
Like I
it's
waited
out
for
there,
a long ass time, and
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Sometimes you just don't get it. Yeah. Wow.
yeah.
Well, what about your personal?
For me,
Ones. Because that's what I'm more interested in is everybody's personal experiences.
I've had a lot, actually. Like, I don't know why. Maybe it's just, yeah, I don't know.
Special.
Yeah, I'm just special, I guess, in our family. I don't know. But there's a couple that's happened to me. I think the one that's actually happened to me, like where it touched me, I think, where it was at grandma's house. I think I've told you guys this before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the story goes at my grandparents' house. We were sleeping there. I think me, Molly, and my 2 other cousins, we were sleeping over there. This wasn't when we were young. This was like, like 2015, 2016.
Yeah, I was still in high school.
Yeah. So we decided to sleep over at my grandparents' house one day just to hang out with them, and that's what we did in our childhood. We just
Like
slept
other
there.
Hmong cousins
Yeah.
all hang out together in one house.
Yeah, one house. Spent the night at my grandparents' house with my grandparents and my aunt. And we were sleeping in the living room. And the way that their living room is laid out is they have 2 couches that are in an L shape. Okay. And so within the L shape, my 2 cousins were sleeping on the couches on the L shape. So their heads were together where that 90-degree angle is.
Yeah.
And so their heads were together like that. Me and Molly was sleeping on the floor in between that L. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Molly was sleeping in the middle L, and then I was sleeping on the outside of the L.
So then you're like
You were
Molly, and then
exposed.
you're like this.
Yeah.
Y'all in the open.
Yeah. So if you were seeing from us from the top view,
You're the bait.
yeah. Yeah. Yes, I was the bait. I was the one bait. I would be the one that died first. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So if you're seeing us from the top view, it's me, Molly in the middle, and then Skyly, who's sleeping on the couch. But we're all sleeping the same way.
Yeah.
And then I think Michi, she's sleeping above us, but laying horizontal above us, because that's where the other couch is in that L.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so that's where we're sleeping. And so I decide to turn away from Molly and Skyly and them, right? So right now I'm
You're facing the door.
I'm facing the door and the fireplace.
Yes.
Okay. And so I'm laying there, and I'm always the last one to sleep because,
Your
again, yeah, my anxiety
Your
is
anxiety.
up. Sometimes I don't feel safe, or sometimes there's just, again, vibes don't lie, okay? And so sometimes I'm always the last one to sleep. So I'm laying there because all the girls are sleeping already by this point. So I'm laying there with my back towards Molly, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I feel somebody tug me behind my shoulder, as if like they're
Trying to get
like
your attention.
get my attention, like tugging like this. If you're watching the YouTube video, they're tugging on me like this. Okay, I felt 1, 2, and I lay there for a little for a little bit, and I'm like, huh? I was like, what? Maybe it's like maybe Molly needed something. I don't know. So I'm like, okay, don't freak out, Melissa. It's Molly. It's Molly. It's Molly. But at the same time, I'm like, watch me turn around, and there'd be like a face there. So I'm like, no. So it's Molly. I'm pretty sure it's Molly. Yeah, it's Molly. So I slowly turn around to look. Molly's facing the other way. She's dead asleep. And so I'm like, again, look on the YouTube to see my face. You're kind of like, what the fuck, face? And so then I turn back around to face the fireplace again, but then I scooch all the way to Molly to make sure she's touching me.
I was like,
So
I
nobody-
actually felt that when you got
Yeah.
closer. When
So
you
that way, like, nothing else could touch me back there. So, but yeah, so the next morning I told Molly and my cousins, and Michi was all like, maybe you're just really tired. And I'm like,
All of us is like,
so tired
Really?
to where you feel the tug.
yeah, it wasn't like a small, like, tug. It was more like 1, 2.
Was it? Do you remember if it was like late?
It was late.
It was late because
Late,
we would
late, like
stay up.
3 or 4 in the
always-
We would
morning?
stay
we
up
always
really
stay up.
late.
We always
super
stayed
Because
late.
that's why like Hmong people like Yalao, they always say like don't stay up too late like that. You need to go to sleep and
Yeah.
because that's when
that's that witching hour.
That's-
when-
Yeah,
stuff.
honestly, it was probably between like 2 and 4 a.m. Because
Yeah.
we were up talking and
Yeah.
watching videos.
yeah,
and
that's
stuff
like
that.
the happy hour for them. you know,
Yeah.
coming out.
And so that was one experience that I've had.
Because I remember sleeping there, and it didn't help that like they had their AC, like there was a fan on or something like that. But like I would feel air coming from underneath the couch where I was sleeping.
Oh yeah, that's where
That's
their
where the
vent
vent
is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I felt that. I'm like, oh, I do not like that. You know. But I was just like, I'd rather face that way than
Yeah.
feel it.
Be exposed like her.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
But I don't know. I was never comfortable spending the night there anyway, so.
Yeah, me too. I don't know why, but sometimes something at my grandma's house was kind of scary. I don't know what it was, but
I just never.
yeah.
It just never felt right spending the
Yeah.
night there.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was one that actually like touched me. And then the other one was when I had sleep paralysis for the first time. I don't know if it was sleep paralysis. I don't know, but
Well, if that's sleep paralysis when you can't move.
yeah,
Then you
so
wanna
it got to that
scream
point.
When yeah, basically.
Yeah, so it got to the point. I think this is when I was kind of going college part-time and then working part-time, so I was home alone a lot. So one day I was sleeping on the couch, and I had my face towards the back of the couch, so my back was
Exposed.
exposed.
That's
This
a
is
big
why I don't
no-no
sleep
right
like
there.
this anymore on the couch.
No, I never do that.
Yeah, but I was sleeping that way where my back was exposed, and for some reason, I felt it. I felt something kind of like run to me,
Rush
kind of
to
thing.
you?
Yeah, rush to me, and then all of a sudden I felt the hand like glide across the couch, kind of like so. Say if my foot was at the end of the couch, the hand would be at the end of the couch and kind of like gliding itself to me, kind of thing.
Like scooching down to you.
No, like
Kinda
he's
gliding.
it's walking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like a kind of like playing around with me. Kind
Oh,
of thing.
yeah,
like
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
coming. Kind
Uh-huh.
of thing. Yeah, and
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
it would do that, and all of a sudden it lunged on top of me.
Oh.
And then when it lunged on top of me, in my head, I was like, "Oh shit, I can't move." And like my eyes were closed, and I'm like, "Melissa, if you open up your eyes right now, you're gonna see a face."
Yeah. Some people see that.
Yeah, so I'm like, so sit there, and I'm like, okay, let me just try to like move, try to do whatever I can to try to like get out of myself from that. And then I got to the point to where like I couldn't move at all, and so I started singing the whole like Jesus Loves Me song, and then in my head I'm like, oh shit, Melissa, what if it starts singing with you? And so this I know. So I'm just like, oh shit, Melissa, stop singing. So I kind of just stopped, and I was like, okay, Melissa, I guess this is it. If I die, I die.
Oh my god.
And then I don't know what happened, but I guess I fell asleep, and then my dream continued on from my paralysis, and I didn't know it was a dream. Because it got to the point to where I guess I got up from the couch, and then I'm like trying to hurry up and get out of the house, but like something was like chasing after me, kind of thing.
Oh, I hate those dreams.
And then I finally got out of the house, and I ran all the way out to the park, and then that's when I woke up, and then I didn't realize that it was a dream. But I think, like I said, I think I fell asleep in the midst of me struggling trying to get out from the sleep paralysis, and I didn't know.
Dang.
So yeah, and then after that, I'm like, I'm not gonna sleep that
Your
way
back
anymore.
Exposed anymore.
Was that before Grandma gave you that bracelet, or was it after?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know where that bracelet went. I'm pretty sure Mom and them probably threw it away.
Because I was gonna say
What
maybe.
bracelet?
Grandma gave me one of those shaman bracelets, the two snake
Oh,
head
yeah,
bracelets,
those,
the one that's
yeah.
supposed to protect you.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's just one day she was like, "Oh, here, you want one? You can take one." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I didn't think much about it, and so I was wearing it, and Mom was like, "Why do you have that bracelet?"
Oh.
I'm like, "I don't know. Grandma gave it to me." She's like, "Do you know what that's used for?" I'm like, "No."
What did she say?
And then she's like, "It's used to like ward off spirits off of you. It's a shaman thing."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know that. It was just a bracelet that Grandma gave me, so I was just gonna wear it."
It's supposed to be that, and also like to protect you, like if you get dragged, by Ituja, then it's supposed to like not let them be able to drag you.
Yeah, I was just
yeah.
saying if that was before or after, if like Grandma was aware or something about you, or she
Yeah,
just
maybe
gave
grandma
it to
saw
you.
something.
Oh, I don't
You
know,
know?
but I think that was probably when it started to. I think that sleep paralysis was probably the first that started everything else. because that's never happened to me before.
Everything else? What do you mean?
Like when the thing that happened at Standing Stones with us.
How she was very like attracted to a lot of the spiritual activity.
That all the ghosts that I've seen on campus, or people that I've seen on campus that was never there to begin with. Yeah,
But then
the
again, I'd
tugging,
have-
the pulling, yeah,
But
all that stuff.
that's scary.
No, thank you.
Yeah, so I think that's what kind of started it, was that sleep paralysis, which I don't know, maybe it started after the bracelet. I don't remember.
I don't know yet, because it could be like when grandma, that's why grandma gave it to you.
I don't
Or
know.
she just trying to play it off like, here, I just got this for you, you know. You never know what grandma, because she has no expressions on her face. So
Yeah.
you just
To
never
this
know.
day, I don't know what happened to that bracelet.
Mm.
I don't know if I took it off and lost it, or if I took it off and then mom them found it and threw it away. But I don't know where it is, because we moved from mom and dad's and I haven't found it.
I mean, I always remember seeing it on your guys on the dresser, you know.
Yeah,
For I remember, but when you didn't wear it.
yeah, it's gone. I don't know where it is. But yeah, my other time was in college. I think I told you guys this story too.
Mm-hmm.
In college, our college that we went to is Indian territory, and so there's a lot of spiritual stuff that happens on that campus, and so
Yeah.
a lot of those buildings are really, really old, like older than Oklahoma. I want to say like back in the 1800s.
When
Yeah.
you said
1880s.
Indian territory, that's already a big no-no.
Yeah, it's Indian territory, and so that was like I think Sequoia Women's College at first, and then
That's the building where all of my classes were.
yeah, and so most of those, I think two of those buildings, or most of the buildings that are there are really old. But I think
Building.
two of them are like the only two functioning ones right now.
Yeah.
because all the other ones are like old, they need to be updated. But the building I was in the fine arts building.
Oh.
It wasn't in the
Seminary.
seminary hall.
Yeah.
It was in the fine arts building, which is also an old building. And so the way you walk in, so the way I walked in on my left side are lockers, on my right side there's lockers. But for some reason, I'm sitting down looking at my phone because I'm like trying to play music on my phone. So I'm sitting there scrolling through my phone trying to find music. And then in the peripheral vision, the top of my vision, I see a lady walk in front of me from my right to my left going to the bathroom because there is a bathroom on the left-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so I follow her into the bathroom because I need to go to the bathroom. And to go to the bathroom, there's 2 doors that you have to go through. You go through the first one, and then there's like a weird, awkward room. And then you got to go push through the second door, and that's where the bathroom is.
Yeah, that's where a lot of those college bathrooms are like.
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's to place your stuff down and then go into the bathroom.
Who knows?
I don't know, but it's 2 doors, okay? So I saw her through the peripheral of my eye walk in front of me, right to left, and then go into the bathroom door, the first one. So I follow her, go through the first door, but I didn't see her go through the second door. But I followed her to the bathroom. This bathroom had 3 stalls, so I walked through the first one. I saw somebody sitting on the toilet, so I went to the second stall. Okay,
You
so
saw through the crack?
yeah, like in the peripheral vision, because you know how you're walking,
Yeah.
you kind of see.
You kind of check in, yeah.
Yeah, she was sitting on the first stall.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, she's sitting there. I'm gonna go to the second one. Go to the second one, use the bathroom, and then I realized, hey, I didn't hear a toilet flush or anything, or the door open or anything. And I've been here for a little bit. I'm in the bathroom for a little bit. So I get up, finish my stuff. I get up, flush the toilet, and then I open up the first stall. Nobody's there. And
Why
then
did you open it, first of all?
because I thought maybe she was done, or maybe I just didn't hear, or maybe because again the whole time I was not paying attention to
I would
her.
just go do my own thing.
I wasn't paying attention to her.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because I was just doing my own thing, and then I just realized at the end I was like, wasn't there a girl in here with me before?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I just opened it just to see, and she's gone. She's not there anymore. And so I sat there, and I was like, I saw her sit. I saw her sitting in the toilet. I don't remember what she was wearing, but I saw someone sit there.
Weren't you listening to music or anything in your? Like you said, you were looking at your phone for music.
Yeah, I was
right?
looking at my phone through music, and then again, I saw her go through the first door, and then I saw her. I didn't see her go through the second door because that's how far we kind of were.
Yeah.
So I didn't pay attention to it. So I thought I just missed her, but before she sat in the first stall.
Yeah.
Because by that time, when I walked to the first stall, she was there sitting.
Right. Were you still listening to music? Why were you?
No,
listening?
by that time, no, because I
Oh.
took out my headphones
Mm-hmm.
because I was wearing wired headphones. So I took it out so that way I can pee and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sat there and I was like, I didn't hear anybody pee besides me. And then I'm like, I didn't hear anybody flush. And so that's when I got up, and then that's when I looked, and I'm like, nobody's there.
See, when I'm in the bathroom like that, I always have earbuds in, just so I don't hear anything.
I'm surprised you even. Like Anna said, I'm surprised you even checked.
I don't know. That's why it's like, I don't know, just in case.
I mean,
don't
like
know.
I would check too, but I wouldn't make it obvious. Like, look, I'll just probably like maybe like glance a little
Right.
bit and then kind of.
But either way, that's
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I just checked just to make sure she was okay. And then there was nobody there.
Dun, dun, dun.
And then I got out, and then I was looking around, and there was like nobody around, and I'm like, wait, how did she walk from right to left when there's no way to walk from right to left because it's lockers? So I'm like,
Like all the way down was lockers.
all the way down was lockers. There was
That's
no
your-
hallway.
That's your big no-no right there when it's a hallway of lockers.
Hell no.
Yeah, that's why I said, I was like, how does she walk from right to left?
She went through the walls because she's a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I'm like, oh my God, Melissa, I think you just had your first ghost encounter at this school. Because apparently a lot of people say they have a lot
Yeah.
because it's Indian territory.
I had a teacher that attended that college, and she told me about that one building, one haunted building, about it.
Seminary Hall, I'm pretty sure.
I'm guessing because she said that I think those doors are locked at night,
Mm-hmm.
and so she said that one night her and her friends went, it was locked when they first checked, and then when they checked again, it was unlocked, and so they went in there, and then they heard people running in the halls, and they were like, "Oh hell no!"
That building smells old. It is old. Like, their classrooms are basically 2 dorm rooms put together because that's how it was. They just broke down that middle wall. Yeah. Because it was the girls' dormitory. But they tore the walls down for it to become classrooms. Their bathrooms are scary, too. I've never used the bathroom in that building.
No, I only use it in the main one where like everybody gathers to eat. I only use bathrooms in
Oh,
there.
yeah. I do not go in there because it's one of those ones where it's old, where you walk in and there's nothing but, like, open showers. And then you gotta
I've
go
never
in.
gone inside there.
You gotta go in further to use the actual toilets. And I'm like, oh, hell no. I don't need to be using the bathroom and then hearing a girl cry, okay? Moaning girl. Yeah, so I never use those bathrooms.
Like, you don't want to meet Moaning Myrtle?
No.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
I'm like, Harry Potter's not here.
This is the wrong school. Get out.
And then that one thing at Standing Stones, which is a church camp, a Christian
Yeah,
camp.
that was some gnarly stuff. Because
Yeah.
Something was going down there.
It's funny because, well, don't you guys say though that normally like supernatural stuff happened over there anyway?
I think that was only like once.
That's what we've heard from like older generations. That like the reason, because when you go into Camp Allen, when you're going in, there's like a lake area
Yeah.
where there's like a pit fire that you can go to.
Yes.
The reason why they don't do pit fires anymore is because something spiritually happened out there that night when they were doing it, and so they stopped doing that. And so all my years going there, I've never had anything happen until
That year.
that year.
Dang, that was crazy.
But then again, that year was when Standing Stones was at its biggest.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, that was crazy because that experience was like really weird for me. Because I know that, well, from my perspective, I mean, I already had a lot of spiritual stuff happen. But at that at that camp, because that was when like I have a spiritual battle, because I was considering to convert, to Christianity, and then like I was experiencing a lot of stuff already before going there, like seeing stuff, and hearing things. So at that camp, when we had, I think, was it just, weren't we like, I mean, I don't know, I don't remember like the other stuff that led to it, but I know that we stayed up late, and then we tried to go to bed, and you said you were the last one.
Yeah, I think what happened was that year, me and you were security that year. And then your husband, my brother, he was security for the boys.
Yeah.
And so what happened was one of the churches from another state.
Yeah.
There were 2 incidents I think that happened that year too.
But it's from the same
or
church.
3.
But it's from the same church,
Yeah,
I think.
2 are from the same church, but 1 was a whole different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, but all those events happened within that week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from what I remember was, surprisingly, we were roomed with the girls of that church. Coincidentally, yeah, we were roomed with them.
It was meant to happen. That's what it was.
Yeah, and so, yeah, so whatever happened was, I think after service, something happened to the point to where in the boys' dorms, I guess people saw something up in the dorms.
They were really freaked out.
And they were freaked out to the point to where they called all the pastors to go up there
and pray
and check it out. When they did that, they rushed everybody back into their rooms, pretty much.
Usually at that time it was, they cut the activities.
Yeah, they cut night activities.
Noodle night.
Yeah. Because that's how big it happened. Whatever it was up there.
I think they came back and they were like panicking.
Yeah.
That's the same day that. That was the same
night that happened in the afternoon where that guy left.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the same day.
That's the same day.
Yeah, that's the same day. And then when I guessed, because I think when everybody was panicking, so they knew. And then the last thing they let us do was do noodles, our instant noodle stuff.
Yeah.
And then because the only one that knew about anything was my husband Mike, the security, because he said that he saw that one just run off.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know the story, so from the beginning of the story, what happened was one of the guys from one of the churches, he was having a spiritual battle because he was going from a shaman to a Christian. Yeah. And so a lot of times for us Hmong people, there's a spiritual battle that happens. And with him, he was going through that spiritual battle while he was at camp. So what he did was, I guess, whatever he was fighting kind of took over his body, and he left Camp Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Camp Allen is
on
surrounded.
Foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Camp Allen is surrounded by woods, okay? But he left Camp Allen. Michael and our friend Long at the time, they went to go get some water. And so luckily enough, they were driving by the highway and they saw the guy that left.
They only recognized him because he was wearing the church camp shirt.
Yeah. And so Michael and them were like, hey, we got to turn back around and I think let the other security people know, and then also get this guy back to Camp Allen. So that's what they did, and then that's when I think the church let Michael and them know that like he's been fighting spiritually, and so sometimes this will happen to him where he doesn't remember certain things, or when he will kind of seem like he's possessed by something, kind of thing. And so that happened during the afternoon that nobody knew except for Michael and the other security people.
Yeah, the security on the guy's side.
Yeah, and so that night, after night service, some of the boys, I don't know which boys, they went back up to the dorms, and they saw something in their room.
And they were crying.
Yeah, and they came back and they were crying, they were bawling. I think at this point, I think me and Anna was in the room where they were doing all the noodles. And so we saw them come in crying, and then a bunch of pastors like leave the scene, and everybody is just kind of like, "What the hell is going on?"
Yeah.
Luckily, there weren't that many people there during that noodle night. So
and then everybody decided to shut everything down early, and to go back into I think their rooms or something like that.
I remember though, because while we were still, because they were like, eat your noodles, and everybody's got to go head to bed early, and so we're all eating, and that's when we were kind of like trying to figure out like what's going on.
Yeah.
And then that's when some people were already saying like, oh, they went to their room and then they saw something, they came down and they were crying. And then that's when I was like, oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then Mike was like, yeah. And then there was like another incident too, but I can't say. And I forgot what I said.
You were
And-
jokingly saying, what? Someone left the campus? And then he looked at you like,
Yeah.
Yeah, like how did I know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was like, because I was like, wow, did someone leave or something, or did someone run away or something like that? And he was like, yeah.
he was like, I'll talk to you
I'll
guys
talk
later.
to you guys later. And I
I'll
was
tell
like,
you guys later.
oh,
And I'm
okay.
just like, oh.
Yeah. And then we went back to our rooms, and it turns out the girls in our room,
I think
belong
they
to the
found
they
same
go to the same church.
Yeah.
And so they knew what was kind of already happening. And so they were kind of freaked out already.
Mhm.
And then we decided to get ready for bed. We went to bed. And then
The girls were scared though.
the girls were scared. And so they
Yeah.
wanted to sleep with one of the lights on.
Yeah.
So we turned on, because I think in the room there's two lights. One in the front where the bathroom and the sinks are.
Technically 3. There's the sink one, and then there's the big one on top, and then
Yeah.
there's the lamps on the walls.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
are
yeah.
Oh,
by the
yeah.
bed.
Yeah.
So what we did was the first time I think we left the ones on top of the sink on.
Yeah.
And so we were all trying to go to bed. We all prayed and everything. We went to bed. Everybody went to sleep, but me and my dumbass self, vibes don't lie, okay? I laid there and I was kind of like, something just feels off. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's just something is just off. Like, the air is kind of heavy. Something just feels off. And then all of a sudden, on top of us, because the way the girls are sleeping, we sleep underneath the chapel. So we can hear everything that's happening upstairs. Okay, so by this time, this is like maybe 1 or 2 in the morning, I want to say.
Yeah, it was.
And
pretty
so, so I'm laying there, and all of a sudden, I hear somebody upstairs jump off of either the stage or
late. To
something.
Jump off of something.
And land. Okay, and I'm just kind of like, it's really late at night. Nobody should be up there right now. And so I'm just like, I think something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen.
You know, when while you're going through that, I was not asleep yet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I was just kind of like, something's off too, and then I was like, but I don't want to see with my eyes, so I just kind of like stayed up with my sleeping bag over my face.
Yeah, you
I
were
was
in
like,
a cocoon.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't feel like seeing anything right now, so that's why I was like that. So while you were doing that, continue. I was just telling you, I was like, well, I was not asleep yet all the way.
And so, so I'm like, something's just going on. Something's going to happen. I feel like something's going to happen. And all of a sudden, the fire alarm goes off out of nowhere. Fire alarm goes off. I get up, and I'm like, I knew it. Something's going to happen. And so I get up, because me and Anna are security, okay? So I think we're in charge of all the girls on our side. And so I get up. I'm waking everybody up to get up. Sammy, she's out cold, and so I'm sitting there yelling at her.
She's sleeping next to the fire alarm right next
Yeah,
to
like
her.
she's at the top bunk, and right above the ceiling
Literally
of her is
like 5
the fire
feet
alarm.
above her.
But
is
she's
the-
like dead asleep. So I'm sitting there like, get
shaking
up.
her.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's a real fire. Get your ass up.
Yeah.
And then she's like, what? And I'm just like, just get up. We got to go. And so Anna, she's still laying in her cocoon. So I run over to her and I'm like waking Anna up. I'm like, Anna, get up, get up. And then Anna wakes up. You guys need to watch the YouTube video. Anna gets up and she's like,
She's
she's shaking.
She's like,
That's how
"Something's wrong."
shamans shake.
yeah,
when
she's
they-
shaking like she's
Shamans
getting
shake when ready
raised from the
to-
dead.
No, shamans shake like that when they're getting
Yeah.
ready to ride on their horse.
I know, but like the way you
Yeah.
got up was like you were a vampire getting up from
Oh.
your bed.
Yeah,
You were
'cause
like,
it took you.
look
It
at
took a
this.
while to wake you up too,
Because
because
I was, my whole body was shaking like this. Like I'm getting ready to like go hop onto a horse.
Yeah.
So I was shaking like this, and I was like, something is wrong. Like I've never shaken like that my whole life before.
Yeah.
I was like, from my head to my toe, everything was shaking.
Wow.
And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I can't stop shaking.
Yeah.
So to the point where like, you think that you're shaking like that, you can just walk. I couldn't move.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like, well, it didn't freak me out. It didn't scare me. It was more like, wait, hold on. Like I'm sitting on what is it? I'm on a car, right? And I'm going over like bumpy roads.
Yeah.
The whole time. So
Yeah.
my whole body's like that, and I'm like, oh my God, something's wrong. And then that's when you guys were like, yeah, the smoke alarm is going off, and I was like, no, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Oh.
Yeah.
Something's
And
wrong.
so we all got all the girls out of the house, and then for some reason, one of the other girl securities, her husband was on a guy's security team, and so she was trying to call him on the walkie, and for some reason,
Can't
all
get a
the
hold of them.
walkies were off
Yeah,
for the
walkies
boys.
did not work.
The boys' dormitory, it was all off, and so luckily enough, I think one of the girls' husbands,
I think it was one of the Safus.
yeah, his walkie was on, so he heard everything, and so he got up and was like trying to see what the hell's happening, and so we all leave, and then I guess some of the security guys go in. I think some pastors go in. I think some of the women go in to see what exactly it is, and it took a while for them to come back out. And then they come back out, and they're like, "Oh, just one of the staff members
They
left their steamer on."
like
and
no nonchalantly like
and
that.
it caused the fire alarm to go off. And in my head, I'm like,
No.
no.
No,
Steam is not smoke.
I'm like, it would have to be to where like the steam was a lot to where it overheated around it and then maybe it went off.
yeah,
But I'm like, but that's like an industrial steamer. Because the ones that we have, you know, the small ones, it wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Unless you're like holding it up there.
I don't know, something's off. And
Yeah,
I
something
still,
happened.
Still to this day, because that was in 20. How was it? 20.
I think that was 2017, 16.
Yeah,
That was the last year Camp Allen was there.
and that was to this
Or
day.
they did.
We
Yeah.
still don't know what really happened.
In the room.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
the room.
Because we went back to the room and Anna was all like, did the light flicker on and off for you guys? And I'm like, Anna, I've been up all night.
Yeah, but
lights
I
did
was
not
up
flicker
for a
on and
good
off.
minute, hiding under my sleep bag, and then I felt like there was a presence like coming near me like this. That's why I'm like, something's going off, and I don't want to open my sleeping bag and see something. So I was kind of like,
Yeah, she's like, did the lights not
The
turn
light
on
kept-
and off?
the light
yeah.
kept doing like on and off, on and
Oh,
off.
you were seeing.
Yeah,
that.
she was saying
I see
that.
through my sleeping bag, and I'm like,
Yeah.
don't mess
And then
with
with me, we're in the same room, and I'm like,
We're
Anna,
only a couple
I'm
feet away from each other.
Yeah, it's like, Anna, the lights didn't go on and off at all. Like, I was up all night.
None of us got good sleep that night.
Yeah. To the point to where I think, like, for me, I think while that was happening with you, the whole on and off thing, with me, I got, like, really hot, and the room started to, like, spin and, like, kind of dysmorph in front of me.
I mean, I felt the heat too, but I didn't feel
Yeah,
the
it got
dysmorph
really,
part.
really hot and stuff. But, yeah, it was just
something was just off because I'm pretty sure that's like a quarter of what like the monk shamans feel because I've never shaken like that my whole life. But my dad has told me stories that like if you are chosen, you are chosen, and all they have to do is light incense and you start riding the horse.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Damn.
Yeah,
So that was
because
scary.
yeah, you wouldn't get up for a little bit, kind of like Sam, but I think Sam was just tired and she didn't get
Like
up. But
like when I think it was me who woke her up,
yeah,
and when I left, I was literally like this to you.
To me,
You know, like I
Yeah.
was shaking you hard, and you didn't move a bit. You were just like, you know, you were out,
Yeah.
and then you got up like the vampire.
yeah, like
You saying my arm? Well,
Your arms did go up,
yeah,
and your arm, like,
up.
I want to say like this, but your arms were up and your hands were shaking.
Yeah.
Is what it was.
because she woke me up and then I felt the shakes and then I tried to stand up and when I was standing, I'm gonna stand in the video. I was standing, I was like, oh my god, like, but then I can't say anything because like it was freaking me out that my arms were shaking, my hands were shaking, everything was shaking, but like I couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the first thing you said when you woke up was something's wrong.
Yeah,
Like, you were tired, but
that's the first thing.
that was the
said.
first thing you said.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would freak me out too. I'd be like, what the hell is she talking about?
I'm like, I knew it. I knew something was wrong.
Because I was like, something's wrong. Because like
Yeah.
I got up and I started shaking like that, and I was like, oh my god, something's wrong, something's wrong. You know. But I didn't like it how like the elders played it off, and I guess they didn't want to scare anybody.
Yeah, because a lot of times after that happened, they were always like, "Oh, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal." But
just happened. It's
we were
okay.
like, "No, you need to tell people that it is a big deal because when you choose anything spiritual, there's always a negative
some type
side."
of warfare going
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
So I'm like, you need to let your people know that this is what happens. When you choose, I guess, in the Christian side, when you choose God, when you've been, I guess, shaman for a long time, they're going to try to, like, pull you back into it, whether that means doing what they're doing, possessing you, doing all that stuff. But a lot of them are just like, no, don't do that. You're going to scare them. God is love. God is love. I'm like, yes, I understand God is love, but there is also
The bad side.
the bad
to it.
side to it. Okay.
It's like there's a devil too.
Yeah, it's like there's a bad side to it. Okay, it's not all rainbows and butterflies.
Yeah. But
You know,
anyway,
singing kumbaya.
that was just the most terrifying moments. But it wasn't terrifying like, oh my god, like I got scared the crap out of me. It was like,
This is all
is this
new.
happening?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what freaked me out. I was like, is this really happening?
Yeah.
They literally
Yeah.
was like,
Come back, you know.
Yeah, but then after that, my other supernatural experiences were even more crazy.
Mm.
Yeah, but that's the only. You said that's the only thing is your thing with your grandmas, and then standing stones. You said right, and
Yeah, there's other
And then that
ones
was
too
it.
where
Oh.
like I've heard voices, like a voice spoke to me in my ear.
oh,
But then a lot of times I've heard for like schizophrenia, that's what happens to them too.
yeah,
Is that sometimes a third voice will kind of go into your head or you'll hear it. So I'm kind of like, I don't know what it was.
well, I know I'm kind of scared of that because like they said that when the reason they say that people that experience mental health like schizophrenia and stuff like that, it's because like they go through something very very stressful and then it just kind of like
Something snaps.
snaps. Yeah, and so that's why a lot of young people get diagnosed as
Yeah.
young adults, especially if they go to college.
Yeah. Because I think at that time I was sleeping with Liam in the living room. And then I'm sitting there and I have like one earpiece in and I'm like trying to listen to, you know, my movies and stuff like I always do. And then like I think I was talking to myself like, okay, Melissa, maybe it's time for you to go to sleep. Nah, 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 nah. And then all of a sudden in the other ear that had the earbud in, because I think my left ear didn't have the earbud in, but I
Yeah.
was laying on it. So then my right ear had the earbud in. And so I'm laying there, and all of a sudden on my left ear where it doesn't, no, my right ear that has the earbud in, I heard a girl say like something like, "No, you're not," kind of thing, like contradicting, contradicting what I was saying, kind of
Yeah.
thing. But it wasn't my voice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so I sat there and I was like, maybe it was my movie. And I'm like, Melissa, it's not your movie because you're watching Friends.
Oh my god.
And so I'm like, did I just have a schizophrenic moment or?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Wow, that's creepy.
I kind of just blew that off.
Oh,
So
yeah, but that standing stones one, that's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, I've had a lot of supernatural experiences in my, for me personally, I've lived in a haunted house.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I've lived in a haunted house, and I've actually seen like outlines, and there's always been something there. Like, and when we were younger, we moved around a lot. Where I originally came from in Wisconsin, and I think like in one of these houses we moved in, we knew it was haunted, but then we're just kind of like, eh. But there was a lot of, actually I lived in a lot of haunted houses. Or maybe people just followed us. But there's a lot of things that like my family experienced supernaturally. But one of them that I did experience is in one of the houses. I think we were like really young, and when we were young, they make us like all stay in one room, like us girls.
Right.
Because my sisters and I, so there's 4 of us. We're in a room, and we have like bunk beds. We always did, right? And I think I vividly remember I was just one night we were supposed to go to bed, and we were all sleeping, and I don't know why, but I was on the top bunk. So I'm sleeping there, and all of a sudden I get woken up. I don't know why. And then I see like a pair of red eyes, but it wasn't just one pair. It was like at least maybe 3 or 4 red eyes pairs. And I was not scared. I think I was like maybe a little older than Rowan. So
Okay.
like maybe
6,
6, 7.
7.
Yeah, or I don't know. I'm between Liam and Rowan probably.
Okay. So like Denahi.
Yeah, I would say. And so I'm like, not little, but I can see it. And at least I think that's how old I was. And then I could see those red eyes. They're all moving like all together. Like kind of like if we're all hanging out and moving, you can see if our eyes
Ooh.
stuck out, it just moves with like the blob. Like I can see a little outline and then blobs of eyes, right?
So is it like Spirit Away when she's like, "Mom, Dad, where are you?" And they're all like dark figures, and you just see the eyes.
Yeah. It was like that. But then they're floating, or it looks like
Yeah.
they're floating. But I did not feel threatened by those
Oh.
spirits or anything. I did see them again later in life recently.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's the same thing, but something similar. So I was like, I'm like, I must have woken up in the middle of the night because I was still kind of like groggy. But I saw them, and when you're a kid, you're just kind of like, either you get scared or you kind of like, you're very curious. So I saw them, and I was like, what is that? And so I would like hang onto the railing. I'm on the top bunk, and so I would like lean over. It would come close to me, and then I would be like, maybe it's just me. And then I would move to the side, and it would follow me. All three pairs would follow me and move like that. Yeah, it was just like very interesting to me. And then, but I've never tried to reach out, but I would just lean in, like, so they would mirror my moves.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so they would come in, move, and then move like that.
They were checking if you were a good contestant.
The spiritual guides,
Yeah.
probably. Maybe, that would explain, because I was not afraid of them. I don't know what it was, but yeah, so that's like one of the many like supernatural stuff that I experienced. And then the other ones, let's see, I had a lot, but I mean, let's see, that one. And then I mean, my dad did say that there was one. I mean, it wasn't my experience, but my dad did say he experienced something. He thought one of us, because there's a house that we lived in, I think it's one of the very last houses that we stayed in. We have a basement, and he said he was working under there. And then he said that he was working or doing something, and he saw a little girl. He thought from the corner of his eyes, he thought it was one of us. Right. And he was like, "What are you doing? Go upstairs." And then he thought it was one of us, or the little girl went back upstairs. And then he was like, "Did any of you guys come downstairs? Because I told you guys not to come down here. I'm trying to work." And they're like, "Dad, none of us went down there." And he was like, "Oh." Yeah, so that's like his experience.
Somebody did.
Yeah. But that's one of my experience. And then what was the other one? I don't know if it's like, well, that's one experience. And then the other ones where it's more vivid, like I can actually remember because I had so many, is probably when I was in the middle of when we came back from Standing Stones, probably. That's when it started to get a little more intense for me, like my spiritual stuff. Because I've always been able to, which is really weird to me, I've always been able to dream about things and it will happen. Yeah. Like this one time I had like a dream about like holding a cup that is like a plastic cup and then pouring soda into it or something like that, and then like giving it to someone like this, and then I literally had that.
So
deja vu,
kind of like deja vu,
but through
like,
dreams.
But so kind of like premonition, almost.
Yeah. But so I've always had some kind of dream thing that connected me with that, and so like my spiritual thing. The reason why I'm mentioning my dreams is because, and for like the Hmong shaman beliefs, like that everything's connected, you know. And so like my dreams, like the most terrifying dream I ever had was how I'm in a dark room, and the
is this the suitcase one?
Yeah, that's suitcase one. I'm sorry. Don't listen to this at night. So I'm having that dream. I'm in the dark room, and at the foot of the bed, there's a dark suitcase there, and I know there's a body in there. I know there's somebody in there spiritually, and I am not allowed to move from my bed, but people can come visit me, like my dad and everybody in my family, and then like it basically kind of like threatened me, like, don't you say anything, I will hurt you or I'll hurt your family, so don't say anything. And so I'm like, it's like, it's scary because she threatened me, but like I'm not super terrified because I'm not gonna disobey her. Yeah, I know it's a girl. And so I'm like, oh crap, what am I gonna do, right? And so I had that reoccurring dream for like for a couple months, and then I told my dad about it, and he was like, because I told him that in those dreams I'm always looking for him. I'm always like, where is he? I gotta look for him. He will never come to me in my dream. Yeah. But I'm always trying to call out for him. And then my dad, that was before they converted too. And he was like, you're looking for me? And he was like, And I was like, yeah. And then he was like, well, you're not supposed to look for me because I don't have that guidance anymore. You're supposed to look out. You're supposed to call for grandpa because he's the one that has the shaman thing to guide me, you know? So I was like, I guess. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm having that dream. And I think that one time I did call out and then I woke up. Because most of the times whenever I'm having that dream, I'm always just struggling of like looking for my dad, calling out for him. And I think one time I did have that dream again and I called out for my grandpa and then I woke up.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my God, thank God. You know, that was terrifying. But yeah, so that was the other dream that I had. And then sleeping. But then like literally months coming up to the part where I'm about to convert to Christianity, I would always see things. So like my parents and them, they used to live like in a country area here in where we live in Oklahoma, and when we drive up to my house, it's really dark because it's a country. So I'm driving up to our house, and you can see my bedroom window, but it's next to like there's 2 windows, and then next to it is the door, the entrance to the house, and I always see. You can see one of the windows is to the bathroom and one is to my room. Mm-hmm. And the one that's the closest to my room to the door is my room. And then the one to the left of it is on the outside is the bathroom. Mm-hmm. And I would drive up and I would see that and then all of a sudden I see my light was on and then somebody turned it off or something like that. And I was like, what? That's so strange. What? Who's in my, they have no reason to be in my room. Cause at this point, the only people living in, cause it's a double wide. We live in like a trailer room. And on that side of the house is just me sleeping there. And Sammy, maybe. I think, yeah, Sammy. But she's not, you wouldn't see her on that side.
Yeah, her room is on the other side.
It's like literally on the other side. So on that side of the house, the only thing that the lights will be on is my room or the bathroom.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. So I saw the light turn on and off. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I'm like, what? So I drive up and I get inside. This is late at night. And then ask my parents, I'm like, did you guys go into my room? And they're like, no, we didn't. And I was like, I just saw the light turn on and off. Mm-hmm. And he was like, and they're like, no, nobody's in there. And I was like, oh, okay then. And so I was just like, I'm not going to say anything to freak them out. Yeah. Because I just saw that. As I'm driving up, because it's really dark, so you can't, it's not like you're seeing things. You know what light was on and off because it's late at night. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the many that I have. Yeah. And then sometimes I'll have it here and there. But I think the other one that is kind of funny is when we went to the new place, Hannibal, for Standing Stones. Mm-hmm. When I woke up and I dreamt about something and I woke up running. And I almost like hurt myself.
Do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
I remember because
what year was that? Was that
the first year?
Hannibal.
Oh.
Yeah, but I was just sleeping, and then I don't know. I just woke up and I just started running. But yeah, it was crazy. I was seeing experiencing a lot of supernatural stuff. Sometimes I still dream about stuff here and there. Mm-hmm. But the most recent dream I had was the one where I'm like walking, I wake up and it's like I hear drums. Oh. But it's like not like that. It's like it's very intense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like I'm like, oh, and it feels like my heart is beating too. And it's dark. It's always dark actually in my dreams. And I look over and it's almost like a shaman altar. Mm-hmm. And then there's like the bench that they sit on, and there's a lady in Hmong clothes. And she has really long white hair to where her hair is like Rapunzel. It's on the floor. Mm-hmm. And her back is facing me. And I'm like, oh, crap. This is going to be scary if I go and go because like maybe her face is rotten or whatever. Right? I'm scared, right?
Yes.
My dad he has dreams like that too, but his are worse than mine. So I'm like, oh, my God. But then I'm like, you know what? Let me just see. Because that's why I'm like, I'm not scared in my dreams sometimes. Mm-hmm. So I go and I look over and she turns around to me. Oh, it's just an old lady face. It's fine. It's not creepy. But she's like, it's your time. And then like the drums get more intense like Jumanji. Like that's what's happening because that's my most recent dream. Yeah. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then she goes, it's your time. Accept it. I'm like, what? And she's like, it's your time. Accept it right now. And then all of a sudden, I feel myself fall to my knees, like I'm almost bowing there. And I'm like,
Wow.
it's time. And I'm like, wait, what's going on? What do you mean it's time? Because I felt my body just kind of accept it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, my brain was like, wait, what? What's going on? I don't know you. And then I
Yeah.
wake up and I was like, whoa, that was the most intense dream I ever had.
You should put this in drawings.
I know I've been
You
wanting
should
to.
illustrate it. Yeah.
It's still vivid to me. She was wearing, it was a very plain mom clothes. She was wearing the black jacket, and she had really long, beautiful silver hair, and she had just a plain white skirt, and then like, you know, the pink cloth
Yeah.
all over her waist, and like she was very like gentle, soft spoken
Uh-huh.
to me, but she was just like, it's time. And then like I fell to my knees, and I was like, it is, like that almost.
Oh, wow.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. Yeah. That's scary. That was scary, but also kind of cool. I was like, wow.
And
Yeah. But anyway, so hopefully you didn't listen to this during the nighttime.
the evening.
So but that would end this episode of supernatural things.
Yeah, if you guys want more, let us know, and we can tell
Oh yeah,
more
we can
stories.
tell more
Yeah.
scary
In
stories.
another
I have a
Or
lot
if
episode.
you
to
feel
tell.
like sharing,
Oh, yeah, you can share
message
too.
or comment.
Yeah, comment, you know, what your experience was, if you feel comfortable, and then we can do a part 2 if you guys want. But yeah.
Sleep sweet.
Yes. Okay, bye.
Bye.